Now, a brand new community project component was introduced this year, providing an opportunity for participants to undertake a community-focused project and engage in a learning format that has been both active and experimental. Supported by mentors from the annual program alumni, each community project focused on achieving measurable outcomes that provide benefits to the region, in alignment with the Ovens-Murray Regional Partnership AVCL strategic plan. Each team will now deliver a short presentation about their projects. To kick us off, we have Team Acorn with Ready, Set, Life.
Thank you, Alice. Ready, Set, Life is a project by Team Acorn. We're so proud of what we've achieved. It's about life skills, and life skills is an essential part of transition to adulthood, and that was highlighted in the Wodonga Youth Strategy 2019. The idea that every young people should have life skills about financial literacy, taxes, Medicare, housing. This is what life skill is all about. We've done a little bit of research and we've realized that there was a glaring gap in that transition to adulthood from high school curriculum, and this is where we come in. Over to you, Edith.
Our team surveyed Mount Beauty Secondary College to give students a voice and a choice in what they thought were the subjects that are in their education and necessary for their success. We investigated topics including preparing for a job interview, changing the oil in a car, healthy eating, sexual health, relationships, getting a tax file number, having an emergency fund, and many more. Students were least interested in car reviews or watching it, and most interested in insurance. Over 50% of students were interested in insurance, superannuation, renting, emergency funds, debt, and financial distress. Thanks. Over to you, Justin.
So, after I unmute, on Tuesday, the 17th of August, 24 Year 10 students, Mel Nicholson from the Mandala Project, and our team met together at the Mount Beauty Community Centre. The first thing she explained was the bag of lollies that was placed in front of them was not lollies, but in fact their savings. And if they still wanted them after a 1 hour long presentation, she would double the investment or those lollies. She then went on to explain the day. A student ate his investment within 5 minutes. The big one for me was if I don't spend $4.20 a day on coffee, I could actually save $21,840 in 20 years. So there goes 20 grand. So I'd like to say that 95% of the students did double their investment by the end of the presentation. A survey was sent out, and look at my screen here, a couple of quotes that came back. You don't need money to be happy. You got to be happy with the way you earn it. And it will allow me to manage my finances better. It has also given me the motivation to look further into things like shares. Over to Olivia.
Team Acorn underwent a storming phase early on when deciding on a project concept. Once we better understood each other's temperaments and allowed the time and space to ensure everyone felt heard, the team worked remarkably well together. When making decisions, we agreed we did not require consensus, but a majority of 3, which kept the project progressing. The shared rolling minutes in a Team Acorn WhatsApp group was used to summarise discussions and outline any actions arising. There were many setbacks, but once we refined our project concept using SMART goals, we secured a facilitator and school audience through existing relationships. We encouraged each other to work on our weaknesses and shared opportunities equally. We acknowledged our changing levels of capacity and maintained an openness to have respectful, albeit sometimes challenging, conversations that assisted our team bonding. Over to you, Nat.
And it is with much pleasure that we can report that Mount Biddy Secondary College are reaching out to the Mandala project, seeking the continuation of the program, which was delivered this year. We can also report that other schools in the local area are interested in the program being delivered, and we're after seeing positive reviews. Finally, we would like to thank the Williamson Foundation and the Kiamba Foundation for their contributions that enabled us to participate in a community project. Although many of us were initially daunted by the task and envisioned something big and grand, we soon realised that what really mattered was the process and team building that a team project requires. So the saying, it's the journey that matters, not the destination, that truly comes to mind. So yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed working on and delivering a successful community project, and will no doubt continue to stay in touch well after the program's end. As a group, we're really proud of everything we've achieved.
Wonderful. Congratulations to Team Acorn. Next up, we have Chrysalis with Small Change, Big Impact.
Thank you and welcome. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land and water of the Northeast where this project was developed and will be delivered. The inspiration for Small Change, Big Impact came from the shared desire of everyone in our team to do something that would encompass connection to community, inclusion, resilience, cross-generational mentoring, and inspiration for people to make changes that positively impact our environment. So, we set out to talk to as broad a range of everyday people that we could access and seek to understand how they feel, what their experiences have been, and what they do to stay connected, resilient, and engaged in our beautiful part of the world.
Team Chrysalis encompasses Maria Wadley, Hayley Hollis, Lee Manning, Bonnie Clark, and myself, Laura Benson. Through our project, we've used the process of storytelling and capacity building to inform the development of a 12-month reusable calendar which shares stories of everyday regional people who do small things which collectively reduce our footprint on the earth. The final product celebrates individual action and inspires regional people to try something new towards sustainable living. We've interviewed 12 everyday people who may not associate themselves as someone who is actively making decisions to lead a more sustainable lifestyle. We have contributors from a variety of ages and stages, backgrounds and industries. At least 200 copies will be printed and distributed across the Alpine Valleys region.
The journey of this project from inception to a complete product has been really interesting and rewarding. If I used one word to articulate this project, it would be growth. As a group, we've become familiar with each other's strengths and styles. We feel more connected to our communities and hope to inspire others to grow personally and take on the challenge of making small or big changes. Some of the hurdles along the way have included COVID-19, which was ever present, and restrictions impacted our ability to connect face-to-face with many contributors. Flexibility, a supportive and considered mentor, and our active project management have been key to our success.
We are so proud of our calendar. The 12 testimonials celebrate diversity in age, gender, culture, wisdom and experience. All of the shires across the Alpine Valleys are represented. The storytelling format covers the big buzzwords like sustainability and climate change in a non-confronting way. Each month shares 3 calls to action with varying degrees of difficulty, enabling the viewer to connect with something that resonates with them that they can achieve that month. The finished product will be available online, and printed copies will be released for the new year and distributed to public places such as community centres, libraries and hairdressers to be accessible for everyone. We also have our fabulous Small Change Big Impact logo and little hashtag koala, which can be used into the future. These help support the perpetual calendar to continue past the first year of use or to be handed on to others.
In summary, our key learnings during this project have been about team. Throughout the challenges and successes, the one thing we all came back to is how amazing our team is. We operated out of the values that we set at the start, and that carried us through to completion. We couldn't have asked for a better group of amazing people to go through the journey of this project.
So we'd like to thank the following people and organisations for their support throughout the project. Our mentor, Mim McGowan, for her insights, enthusiasm and encouragement when we're all feeling a little overwhelmed by life. She got us excited about what we were doing again. The Hugh Williamson and Kiamba Foundations for funding support, and AVCLP for facilitating those avenues of funding. And of course, Carly, Jackie and Maddie for your guidance and support throughout the year. The AVCL board and our sponsors for investing in community leaders. And we'd also very much like to thank the rest of the AVCLP 2021 cohort for being a fantastic bunch of people to share this ride with. Thank you.
Well done. Fantastic work. Now it is time for Team Jasper to tell us all about diversity and inclusion mural.
Thank you, Alice. Over the next few minutes, we'll be discussing the diversity and inclusion mural at Urunga Primary School, a project that's been coordinated by Team Jasper, made up by Jen Sleep, Alison Winters, Sally Hughes, Pete Christensen and Anthony Cheeseman. The diversity and inclusion mural at Urunga Primary School was aimed at creating a vibrant mural that celebrated diversity and inclusion and creating a safe and welcoming space in Wangaratta. The school was chosen because of their similar value to us and the project and the alignment of objectives. The school has a higher than average number of students that identify as of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander origin, trans and gender diverse, culturally and or linguistically diverse, from rainbow families, those who live in out-of-home care and have a disability. The goal was to provide the student community with an opportunity to articulate why diversity and inclusion and welcoming and belonging is important to them, which was achieved through a series of consultation workshops with grade 5 and 6 students. This allowed them to have direct involvement and impact on the development of the mural design. The objectives of the program included the improved resilience and empowerment of the community, providing students with the opportunity to directly influence the mural design and improving visibility and representation of diversity.
Great. I'm very excited. I'm going to take you on the journey of our project. In May, we started with some great planning. We used the skills from within our group and we had help from the AVCLP and we had some coaching from Tammy at Sue at It's On Purpose. We set some clear boundaries and timelines. In June, we were lucky enough to strike a great relationship with Urunga Primary School, who, as Alison has mentioned, have similar ideals about promoting inclusion and diversity. And importantly, they had a blank wall. And it's in a prominent position and the public can see it very clearly also. We also met our mentor, Kaz Salmon, who had been a great support to us through our journey. In July, we met with the grade 5 and 6 class students and worked with them to explore the ideas of diversity and inclusion. We had discussions, played games, and did drawings about the theme and tried to gain a student perspective on the idea. In August, we were able to use this information from the students to inform a request for quote that we sent out to local artist networks. We were very fortunate to be able to engage a local artist, Chris Henderson. In September, we were able to get some exciting news and get some funding from different places. Bendigo Bank came on board and Alea Care also. It gave us a real boost and gave us confidence to keep going. In October, we went back to Urunga Primary School and we took Chris Henderson with us. He met with a self-selected group of 6 students who are really interested in the theme of diversity and inclusion and also really interested in making art part of their careers in the future. And it was really interesting to hear them talk and engage with Chris about all sorts of topics. And in November, we are hoping and planning to have something vibrant and exciting to come up on the wall at Urunga. Chris and the students are currently finalising the design, and Chris is actually scheduled to start painting on the 22nd of November this month. So it should all be happening very soon. So if you're in the Wangaratta area, please go past Urunga Primary School and you will see some great change. Thanks.
We'll achieve some excellent outcomes with our project. Not only will we deliver on our objective of designing and installing a high-quality, bright and modern mural, we will also be able to deliver positive outcomes for the students, the school and for our project team. The Urunga students will see their vision, thoughts and feelings transformed into art, and will have learned about the creative design process and will have learned how they can express themselves creatively. Our team has had the opportunity to learn about and to improve our understanding of diversity and inclusion within local communities, learn project management and technical skills, experience working with people that we may not have otherwise had the opportunity to, and we've had the opportunity to share our own skills and experiences with others.
Edward Kennedy once said, "What divides us pales in comparison to what unites us." Team Jasper began as 5 individuals, each with a unique personality, worldview and skill set. Through meaningful discussion, we decided on a mural project in a public space that would help celebrate difference in its myriad of forms. Identifying the unique skills of each team member and assigning roles was key to our success. It helped us negotiate many hurdles. A huge step was finding a location for the mural, and gaining support at Urunga Primary School through community engagement was a total breakthrough. Next, we drew on the ideas and perspectives of the student community. The students collaborated with the artist and created a picture of what diversity and inclusion really meant to them. Other hurdles included sourcing funding within a tight timeline and negotiating COVID. Our team is dedicated to changing culture. We are humbled and excited to see the project becoming a reality and a lasting legacy that will break down barriers and bring people together.
Thank you, Sally. Now, I would just like to acknowledge our sponsors and acknowledge a few other people in our project. So, firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the Bendigo Bank for their generous community grant, to Bunnings for their generous donation or offer to supply the paint for the mural. So that's been fantastic. Ovens and King Builders, who have offered to provide scaffolding or any other safety equipment that we need. Alpine Valleys Community Leadership, Hugh Williamson Foundation and Coyamba Foundation for the support in providing the seed funding. Alea Care for the support for our project through their Walktober campaign as part of their corporate social responsibility. I just got advised yesterday that they are actually donating $1,400 from that to our project, which is fantastic. To the Urunga Primary School, their school council, principal Fran Waterman and teacher Michael Jennings, thank you very much. Thanks for providing the opportunity to work with them on such an exciting project. It's on Purpose to Tammy and Sue for helping us to define the project and effectively describe our goals, to our project mentor Kaz Salmon for her enthusiasm, curious questioning and encouragement. And most of all, I'd really like to thank my Jasper team colleagues for us working collectively to achieve our individual whys. So thank you, team. And thanks to all the encouragement from our AVCLP 2021 cohort as well. So thank you.
Really looking forward to seeing the installation of that mural take place. Now we are over to the quintets with Bringing Communities Together.
Hello everyone, I'm Tamara Barton from team at Quintex. Our project acknowledges the fundamental importance of volunteering in our communities. Volunteers are like glue that keep communities together, providing services that aren't delivered by government or by business. Think about community gardens, service clubs like Lions and Rotary, and their many projects. Consider homeless shelters and food charities like Albury-Wodonga Regional Food Share. These services would not exist without volunteers. Think about our fireys in the CFA and the RFS and the SES who come along after a storm and put tarps over our houses to keep them dry. Sporting teams who keep our kids engaged and healthy. Organising competitions week in and week out. Wildlife rescuers, heritage groups, environmental organisations. Refugee advocacy. What would our communities be without these remarkable people? We wanted to help. I'm now going to introduce our next speaker from our team, Peter, to talk about our project conception.
How do these fantastic organisations attract people? How do they sustain themselves? Recognising how many volunteering organisations there are, we thought we would create a showcase event to demonstrate to the wider community the vast amount of work that volunteer organisations do. Focusing on the rural city of Wangaratta, we wondered how we could highlight to the public the extent and the diversity of volunteering opportunities. How could we engage the public, refresh community spirit, and attract new volunteers? How could we arrest the decline in volunteering that's been apparent over many years? Our first plan was to use the Wangaratta show as a platform, but COVID has delivered us many pivots through the life of our project. As you may be aware, the Wangaratta show has been cancelled for a second year. And so we were introduced to the Grit and Resilience program, already doing fantastic work in connecting our Wangaratta community. I'm now going to introduce the next speaker from our team, Pahal, to talk about our alignment with Grit and Resilience.
Okay, thank you. The Wangaratta is a strong community with the great people, but like the many places, it has had its share of the challenges, particularly in the recent year of the bushfire and the COVID lockdown. Grit and Resilience is a program funded by the federal government and supported by the rural city of Wangaratta. It's community driven and the response to the mental health challenges and impact of the suicide in the Wangaratta. It recognizes the importance of the benefit of engaging vulnerable group with the vibrant community life. Volunteering initiatives that do these are supported by the Grit and Resilience logistically and financially. We got in touch with the Grit and Resilience and asked how we could help. One of the projects already identified by the community was how to help the people organize their own event to support the Grit and Resilience program supported priorities. Now I'm going to introduce the next speaker, Paya.
Thanks, Pahal. All of those community groups offer a tremendous service to Wangaratta, but they need support and renewal. Their continued existence requires people to know about them and engage. And what better way to get the public to get together and to create these important connections. For some people, organising an event is second nature. Planning and logistics are part of their day-to-day working lives. But for many people, most, delivering their idea for a public event is overwhelming. There is so much to consider. Grit and Resilience has the financial and backing support to support people to deliver a great event, big or small. But how do we get more people to host these events? We decided to talk to experienced community event planners and put together a planning document specific to Wangaratta. This would help people with a good idea to deliver an engaging, well-crafted, thoughtful event that will deliver on grit and resilience priorities of a happy, healthy community. I'd now like to introduce our final speaker, Andrew, who will tell you about the future of our project.
Our document is a hands-on, step-by-step planning guide that helps a community-minded person or group take a great idea and turn it into reality. We want to support strong communities, highlight volunteering opportunities, and help organisations, big and small, to deliver events that bring people together. Our project has been designed to capture the essential pieces of organising a great event. It's something anyone can pick up and confidently use to ensure they've covered off the steps that are considered critical and help connect groups with the right people. I volunteer for the Tarawini CFA and Mural Football Netball Club. Our project has been the creation of a guide that both organisations can use to plan and host a showcase event that will attract members and volunteers. This is vital for the strength and sustainability of our organisations. We hope it will be used by other diverse community groups to organise get-togethers that increase participation and strengthen the community connections and their well-being. Thank you.
Excellent work. And the final project presentation tonight is from Ohana with Unspoken Words.
Sorry about that. Never waste a disaster. This is a sentiment that has been expressed to our 2021 AVCL cohort several times throughout this year. And it is one that I feel accurately summarises the leadership journey that Ohana has experienced navigating the community project section of this year's program. For our project, we had intended to collect and share stories. We were first inspired by the resilience of the Corryong community and then the vibrancy of Albury-Wodonga's multicultural community. Throughout the year, we've had many challenges thrown at us, many of which we couldn't control and we couldn't influence. We lost a member from our team. We overcame struggles with distance, battled COVID restrictions and border controls, balanced competing challenges within our personal lives, and worked against the ticking clock all year long. Our community project turned into a calamity, and we found ourselves at a point of a difficult decision. It was time to say enough was enough and accept that we were unable to complete our project and what we set out to achieve. We are Ohana, Tegan, Melinda, Helen, and Gemma, and we've decided that we're not going to waste our disaster. Instead, we're going to use the opportunity and learn from it. Over the next few minutes, we're going to share with you some things we've learned through our experiences this year.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. We believe that good leaders have the people in the forefront of their mind, people before project. Initially, we planned to work with the Upper Murray community to share their resilience through storytelling, but we decided to pivot after the Upper Murray suffered another tragedy. We agreed that although changing our project scope would set us back, the Upper Murray community needed time and space to heal. Community projects should be about the community. So we put the people first and shifted our focus. Similarly, towards the end of the program, when we decided not to deliver a project, we were taking care of our team, our family, and putting each other first.
We as leaders can validate people, validate our cohort, and make them feel empowered to show the best version of themselves. For many years, I have been embracing humanity as a whole and their unique qualities. No matter what that may look like, we are all different and have something to contribute as individuals and within our cohort. This year has made me feel exposed, vulnerable, and at times broken. Regardless of the struggles, it has also taught me that being an empath is an exceptional quality that needs to be valued and nurtured. Affirmed by some of the amazing leaders we have had the opportunity to learn from this year. It has been a fundamental quality that has empowered Ohana to get through the year. We have supported each other through many challenges to build our capacity, knowledge, self-awareness, and what not to do when we will be given the opportunity to lead within our communities. How did we recognise these important qualities within our team? We learned more about who we are as individuals and our leadership styles. We valued our worth within the team and allowed each other to have a voice and embraced our differences. Most importantly, we learned not to be afraid to say no. And because of this, we felt empowered, not defeated. As a leader, if you can build confidence and foster connections, it gives people the courage to explore ideas and share concerns. A problem shared is a problem halved.
There is certainly a sense that during our time together as a project team, we have come full circle. We were initially drawn to the idea of storytelling and we were passionate about community. We wanted to connect with the community and to capture their story of adversity and resilience with authenticity and honour. In the end, we have done exactly that. However, the story we have told has been our own. When we finally shut the door on our project, we opened the door to something else, the opportunity to lean into vulnerability and reflection and to do it justice, to make sense of our journey and to feel a sense of achievement. These tough decisions are often riddled with feelings of guilt and failure, and yet we have turned this around to carve out an experience which has been full of richness and opportunity. Whilst our project team may have embarked on a journey that appears somewhat unorthodox, our learnings have been profound. We came to understand that to lead a successful project, you need a solid foundation, one built on connection, rapport, and a respect for the skill set of everyone involved. Without the time and resources to build that strong foundation, it's hard not to wobble when the hard times hit. This has not been a failure, but an opportunity for growth and an experience we can be proud of. Thank you.